Now, I was requested to do a review on the Tecno Camon 15 in one of the comments, and here's what I gathered about the phone. I haven't used the phone fortunately, and that's why this video will mainly be about the phone specs on paper, and finally a quick explanation of my thoughts on Tecno phones. So be sure to watch the whole video for that. The Tecno Camon 15. It has a 6.55-inch 720p display with the punch-hole selfie camera on the top left part of the screen. It also has a 2.35 GHz processor with 4 GB of RAM and 65 GB of internal storage, which is expandable via a micro SD card up to 256 GB. All this powered by a 5000 mAh battery. Now on the cameras. The device has a quad rear camera system with a 48 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel ultra wide, a 2 megapixel depth sensor and a QVGA sensor. It also has a 16 megapixel selfie camera. Having looked at some reviews made about the phone, the cameras are not that bad actually. Pictures are quite clear, though portrait mode was not that good. The main camera and selfie camera both supports 1080p video recording up to 30 frames per second, which to be honest is not good at all, especially when you compare it with what other devices can do. The phone is powered by a Helio P22 chipset, which yes, does its work, but it's just a moderate chipset. Finally, the Tecno Camon 15 does not come with a USB Type-C cable, hence does not support fast charging. It also has no IP rating, hence not water resistant. The whole body is made of plastic and it sells for slightly below 15,000 Kenyan shillings or just $150. Just that for all those wonderful specs. Now to the main question. Should you really buy a Tecno phone? My answer to this is that I wouldn't advise anyone to buy a Tecno phone. It's not that I hate the phones, but let me explain. All Tecno phones have one thing in common. They are cheap, and even better, they also have good specs, good models, and a lot of other good things. This is the reason many actually buy their products. Wonderful specs at a very affordable price. But for what? Many of the people who have ever used Tecno phones usually complain of being disturbed with ads that appear almost everywhere, especially when their data is on. This therefore leads to the depletion of their data in a short time duration, and what's even worse is that many don't actually know it. The issue grew so big over time that even articles were written warning people on how the Tecno phones subscribe their users to paid services without their knowledge. I'll leave a link of that article in the description down below. Make sure you check that out for more detailed information, and you'll see it for yourselves. Now that is why Tecno phones are usually so cheap, yet they still have good specs on paper. So it's a choice. You either choose to go with the cheap phones and get ready to face all the issues that come with the phone, or you choose other phones which yes may have lower specs but are user friendly. And that's now my final summarized answer. I wouldn't advise anyone at all to buy Tecno phones, but if someone thinks they can handle all the issues that may even lead to their money being indirectly and unknowingly taken from them just for the specs, well, they can go buy the phone and hope they won't get any issues at all. So that marks the end of the video. Hope you really enjoyed and learned a thing or two. And I'll leave the link to the article I was talking about in the description below if you want to check it out. So please remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. And with that, see you guys in the next one.